and I want to thank ITMPI for inviting me to speak about this topic today. It's a subject that is of really keen interest to organizations of all types. Thank you also for all of you who have joined us today to hear about what are some of the common issues affecting PMOs when they're created and managed. And it applies to all types of organizations in all regions of the world. My associate and I have been doing a lot of research starting way back in 1997, and what you're seeing is a culmination over a period of time of what some of those issues are. And what you see on the screen here is the agenda. I'm going to talk about the challenges, where they're positioned. There are actually 9 different types of PMOs that we've discovered in our research. What's a PMO structure look like? What's the framework? What are the benefits and value in? Can PMOs be made resilient and sustainable? These are the kind of things that are that PMOs and organizations that want to implement them are addressing every day of the week. Let's see. Here we go. Thanks for being here with me. Well, okay. Implementing and operating a PMO is not an easy thing to do. And these are just some of the issues. There's about 14 in total that I'm going to talk to you about very briefly. There's a lot of information on these slides, and so I won't spend a lot of time digressing over them, but they are going to be available to you at the end. If you email me, I'll make sure you get a copy, a PDF copy of the slides, because there is a lot of information I think that you might be interested in following up on. Well, first of all, it's an issue with the executives. They don't support, or if their support is given, it's very limited or inconsistent. In most cases, it's really not existing at all for the support of PMOs. A PMO really doesn't actively engage executives and sponsors, nor do they really identify for the organization what the value and benefits they're delivering. And finally, no clear consensus on what those values that they're delivering are. And that's a really key point. If you have a PMO, you need to really understand what are the values and benefits, and then very quickly and clearly articulate what they are. Then there's an issue of really not having a clear understanding of what those roles and responsibilities are, or to really not define the role of the project manager and the PMO manager. It's really clear that you need to be able to clearly define what those roles and responsibilities are. And then finally, they're saying that PMOs, the standardization systems and processes, they really aren't effective, and they're not efficient, and they're not mature or not accepted. So it's really important when you start out, like I said at the beginning, this is not an easy thing to do. But if you have a clear understanding of what are the steps to follow through to make these type of challenges and be able to address them clearly, then the job becomes a lot easier. Well, PMOs do not have mature project program capabilities. They do not define ongoing project management training and career paths, and they do not formally and effectively transfer the knowledge that they develop. All these points are found through our research, and they're discovered through actually talking to various PMOs and actually publishing case studies. Sustainable business challenges are, there's no real clear consensus on what the ability of a PMO is to deliver results. There's no clear consensus on the ability of the PMO to deliver value or benefits or return on investment. These points here, if this is true and you haven't been able to do that, then there's no way that the organization where you're establishing a PMO, regardless of where it's positioned, that it will be sustainable, that it will stay around. The organization looks at PMOs. In most cases, PMOs are overhead. They're not profit generating. They're not self-sustaining, but supporting from a financial point of view. So if it's true that these things aren't being done, they won't last. And that's a real issue. Now, like here, in our research, we've actually found there are 9 different types of PMOs in organizations. Many organizations have one enterprise level, or they might have it at a business unit or divisional level. Some of them actually have multiple PMOs within their organization structure. I'll show you that as we go forward. Like I said, there's really a wide variety. And by the way, no quote unquote standard PMO organization structure. It's developed initially, the names, everything is unique to the organization itself. So this is one of the reasons why you don't see a PMO standard being created. What you see here is what we see today as organizational structures. A PMCOE is a Project Management Center of Excellence. A Project PSO is a Project Support Office. A PGMO is a Project Management Office. And what we see here is they all eventually report up through different levels of the organization to the CEO or president. And you can see the majority of some of these PMOs on the left side go up through the business unit. Those on the right side may go up through the division. So these are some of the broad strokes of what the organization structure might look like from various PMOs. If you have a project support office, then what kinds of things does it? What's its role? What are the services that it provides? Well, first of all, sometimes it's called the project administration office, and it really can enhance the ability of a business unit to uniformly manage projects. Well, the PSO is focused on methodologies and processes, project status reporting, minimal competitive capabilities, and training. And in some cases, it really seldom morphs into a project management office. So a project support office does some of these things. Typically, it's set up for managing a specific, unique type project. Might be a mission-critical project, but it very seldom ever morphs into an ongoing type of project office. It really does little to develop project managers. It does little to ensure the effective management of projects or the management of programs. It doesn't manage projects. It doesn't ensure that there's effective management, but it really doesn't manage the project itself. Use of the PSO will continue tomorrow. Engineering and construction business. Really, you know, PMOs really started back in the long time ago in those two industries, engineering and construction. And today they still do. The project office is typically found on a site or in a room in the early stages of engineering projects and then construction projects. When they're under construction, when they're in and being built, then you'll see a project office on the site of the project. And by the way, the term project management office is a kind of a misnomer. There is really no, the office is the structure in which it resides. The activity that resides within it is the project management office activities. And so we have a tendency to refer to PMOs as project management organizations because it's the organization which delivers these types of activities. Finally, today it will not be sustainable as a functional organization over the long term. Within most enterprises, a few will exist tomorrow.